Trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics. The Cincinnati Bengals continue preparations for the 2024 NFL season. They are in Chicago. Joint practice today. Dave Lapham was on hand. Kind of wet conditions. We talked about it leading up to it. Weatherman wasn't wrong.
Wasn't wrong, but fortunately no thunder or lightning. So they stayed out on the football field and soaked it in as such. Zach Taylor had mentioned that he wanted to have at least a day in tough weather conditions because didn't handle the elements very well in the Cleveland game during the regular season last year, early in the season. So he thought that it was, a good opportunity to take advantage of and understand what you have to do differently with the weather, and for the coaches, the adjustments you have to make, plays that you're going to eliminate, plays that you're going to work on. You get a good sense of what you can and can't do from a physical standpoint. As a player, everybody has to work on their footing. The footing's a lot different. And the sad thing is, though, Dave, that the Bengals lost 2 players in this football game. And it's not because of the field conditions, the weather conditions necessarily, but Deontay Smith was taken off the field with an air cast around his left leg, and Chris Evans on the right leg, an air cast. So it looks like serious injuries to 2 players. You lose 2 offensive players like that, and there was a chance that both of them, could be practice squad players, worst case scenario. So, and now with Deontay Smith going down, and you're thin at the tackle position anyway, with Mims not being able to go. And then, during the course of the game, Trent Brown had to leave with lower back tightness. So now all of a sudden you've got guys sliding out there, tackle from the guard position. And that's one thing we talk about is position versatility. They're going to be guys that, are going to have to do that. The ones that aren't the starting linemen, it's how many positions can you play? And if you prove that you can play 4 of them, both guards and both tackles, your value skyrockets. So, unfortunately, you don't want it to happen, due to the loss of others, and that's the sort of situation that's not the, that's not what you're looking for whatsoever. But when reality hits, your opportunity knocks, and you have to step up and try to make the best of it.
We talk about in the trenches, the depth there. We have to we haven't talked. Jeff Gunter announces he's done. He's retiring. That puts another cramp because Sam Hubbard's still coming back, nursing whatever injuries, and you get limited reps. So, in the trenches have been hit a little harder than normal for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, they have. And, Jeff Gunter, it's according to some people that I've talked to, he's a little bit of funk the last couple of weeks. He's battling a knee injury that he's battled before, and it just seems to be, recurring for him. He wants to graduate, get his college degree, and get on with his life's work. And if you've made your mind up that that's what you want to do and your mind's not 100% on football anymore, you got to do it. Because if you're going in there and going through the motions and just, trying to get through it, it's brutally tough, and you're setting yourself up for even more injury. So it's unfortunate in his situation as well, because he's a guy that was going to be probably practice squad player, worst case scenario. The Bengals had, plans for him, if not, to be on the 53 or 45-man roster, 48-man roster to at least be able to develop him a little bit longer. And so, that's a blow, and you're going to have to, you wonder, are they going to go pluck a tackle off of somebody else's roster? They're going to pluck a defensive end off of somebody else's roster. And that's the other thing that goes on with these joint practices. The entire scouting department for both football teams are out there watching the other team's players. Not just how they play on the football field, but how coachable are they? What kind of relationship do they show body language wise with their teammates? And you see everything firsthand. So that's a benefit to some of these young players for sure, and guys that are trying to extend their careers. There's no doubt about it. And Hard Knocks was here. They're doing every NFC North camp right now, and they're here taking a look at the whole thing. They had officials for this controlled scrimmage. Trey Blake's crew was the officiating crew, and so it was an interesting day. There's no doubt. I think on a snap-by-snap basis, I think probably Chicago won more snaps than the Bengals did, but valuable snaps that you want to have. And it's when you have a joint practice, the pace of the operation escalates. I mean, there's no question about it, and you learn to practice like a pro. And it's interesting. Last year the Bears and Colts, they had 5 fights in day 2 when they had their controlled joint practices. It's about getting better. It's not about who's tougher. It's understanding different concepts and adjusting to those. And the NFL in July, they sent out a memo warning teams not to fight in joint practices. The Lions and Giants said, yeah, the heck with that memo. They got into it a bunch. They were fined $200,000 each last week. The joint practice war that they had. It was fight-filled, to say the least. And Gerard Mayo said to the Patriots, if you fight, if you're a starter, you're going to play the whole game. If you're not a starter, you're not going to play at all. So I mean, that's the way he felt like he was going to try to punish players. So it's interesting. I do think there's a lot of benefit doing this, and they were out there, Dave, from 1 o'clock to 3:20. I mean, it was 2 hours and 20 minutes of work, and it was good work. And the thing is, they get after a bunch of different phases of football, as you normally do in these type of situations. Situational football. When 7-on-7 was going on, the offensive and defensive line were going in, having their one-on-ones, and that was really good work. You hadn't gone against that type of opponent. It's been your teammates the entire time. Now you're going against somebody else, and it was super competitive. It was controlled environment, but it was super competitive. They got great work. They covered, just about everything. They covered every phase of special teams. They covered mix of base down and distances. They mixed that up pretty well. They covered third down, 2-minute drills, moved the ball unscripted in the red zone, in the low red zone. Short yardage and goal line opportunities occurred just during moving the football. There weren't specific periods for short yardage and goal line. So just about every phase you can think of was covered, and it was more than worthwhile. There's no question.
You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics. First Star Logistics is hiring. They are a freight asset-based company, 24/7 support, unsaturated agent network, highest commission percentage in the industry, over 30,000 pre-screened carriers. Visit firststarlogistics.com/careers for more information on openings. Lap, we have to talk about those have left practice because of injuries, but there was a return. Charlie Jones returns to practice.
Yeah, Charlie Jones had limited work. He's from Chicago, so it was good for him to get out there and get after a little bit. He returned to punt. He didn't participate extensively, but it was good to start the process and work his way back in and add to his workload. And so hopefully, I don't think he'll play. In fact, I know he's not going to play on Saturday. That's not going to happen. I think the starters as a whole will probably not be working on Saturday, but I think DJ Turner and Dax Hill, I think they're going to play at cornerback. I'm not sure they'll be out there with the starting unit, but I think they probably will be if they're going to play them in the game. I think it would be with the, quote, starting unit, although, it's not starters. So I think they play them earlier in the football game rather than the second half of the football game. It makes total sense to go, that way. So I think the work for a lot of players on this trip is completed right now. And now it's time for the younger guys to use this exhibition game number 2 to get as many reps as they possibly can, to get as much good tape as they possibly can, to be evaluated by not only the Cincinnati Bengals, but like we talked about earlier, all 31 other teams in the National Football League and other leagues there are around the country and around the world now that are professional.
Lap, we do have to talk about it. The last practice in Cincinnati, Jamar Chase did not attend. A lot was being made of that, but Jamar made the trip to Chicago.
He did. He made the trip to Chicago, and I think that was That was well appreciated. I think there was, that's not going to go unnoticed. In fact, all the injured players pretty much made the dance. Everybody made the trip to Chicago. I think there were only 3 players didn't travel. Dave, Brad Robbins is dealing with a hip flexor. He did not travel. I don't know how significant that hip flexor issue is, but so he didn't travel with the team. And then McKinley Jackson, obviously with the MCL injury to his knee, no surgery, but he's rehabbing that. He did not travel. And Dominique Davis, coming back from a leg injury himself, did not travel as well. Everybody else that was injured, there were a lot of guys that did not participate in today's joint practice because of injury. They were all there, though. They were all out there supporting their teammates and getting the mental reps and all the necessary things that if you can't go physically, you can get a lot done mentally, and all those guys took advantage of that very thing.
Lap, does there come a point in time with the whole saga going around Jamar Chase that it becomes a distraction? 'Cause it seems like with him being there at practices, being part of as far as the everyday occurrence of what's going on in practice, it's kept it from being a disturbance. But are fans making it more than what maybe it should be?
Yeah, I mean, I think his teammates understand the business part of it. They understand totally what's going on. They may find themselves in the exact same situation. So each and every one of them understands that he needs to take care of his business the way that he feels like his business should be taken care of. And they totally support him in that. So as far as his teammates are concerned, there's no division, no ill will, nothing like that. I can understand the fan base being frustrated, but I'm telling you, in today's multi-billion-dollar, and I mean multi-billion-dollar industry, the National Football League, I guess we all better get ready for it, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen more and more, like we talked about before. These long-term contracts, there's no such thing as long-term anymore. As soon as there's another collective bargaining agreement done, everybody's going to go marching back to the table. So the revenue is extraordinary. It's incredible. I mean, there is no way. I know Paul Brown and other teammates and coaches that I played with and played for back in the early to mid 70s could no way ever project that this kind of money would be on the table for the National Football League. It is mind-boggling. The Dallas Cowboys are now worth $10.38 billion. Jerry Jones paid $160 million. He's now got an asset that's worth $10.38 billion. I mean, that's a $10.2+ million profit if we were to sell it. And that's ridiculous. So the players are saying, hey, we want ours too.
You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics. Do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Also make comments. We love to see the comments. Lap, I'm going to let you close it out here because I know you need to catch a bus to get back to the team hotel.
I do, yeah. Back to the team hotel we go. It's amazing. I mean, the weather now, it's a nice fall day here. I don't think the temperature ever got above 70 degrees. And when it was raining and damp, it certainly wasn't 70 degrees, man. It was definitely a chill out there. It felt like the middle of fall. But unfortunately, the thing about sports, and thing that you hate to see is injury. And man, I'm telling you, when Deontay Smith went down with his injury, the entire workout in that football field stopped, and every single Cincinnati Bengal was on their knee, helmet in hand, on their knee, just like silent. And then they all, when he got put on the cart, both players got air casts put on them and then put on a cart. And when he got put on the cart, everybody crowded around him and, was just trying to give him their best thoughts they possibly could. And that's the tough part of sports, when you see something like that happen. He worked so hard. Both these players worked so hard in the off season to increase their opportunity and increase their role. You hate to see it.
He is Dave Lapham. You have been in the trenches from Chicago. Dave Lapham took in the joint practice, given the report for the day after being soaking wet. Be sure to stay within the trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics, for more in the coming days. Dave, we appreciate the time. Hooday.
Good day, Dave.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.